Now, before we go into the whys, I want to break down this fight in a way I have not seen done yet. We obviously know Mayweather's career. We know he's 49-0 and blah, blah, blah. We know his opposition and everything else. Now, I want to get everyone to kind of close their eyes and imagine that McGregor is a pro boxer, that he was never an MMA fighter and he is a pro boxer. Now, we do know he has 21 wins in his MMA career. We do know that 18 of those wins were by TKO. So we're gonna give him those 18 wins as a boxing record, right? So we do know he won 18 times as a boxer. We know he had one submission, so we'll discard that one. We're not going to use that in our fake boxing record. And he had 2 wins by decision. So let's give him those 2. So now we do know that he has 20 wins and 18 of them by TKO. Now, to make this official, you would have to look at the opposition's record and basically see the type of opponents he was able to beat by KO, TKO. But I don't want to get very complicated or very deep into it. Instead, I just left it that way, where he had the 20 wins, 18 by knockout. Now, the first question that comes up is always, well, now that you have a guy with only 20 wins and 18 knockouts, does he deserve a championship fight? Or does he deserve a big fight like this one, which is not a championship fight, but a big fight? Well, it doesn't matter, really. Mayweather has never really had any official reason why he chose fights. It just had to have two things. One of them was he has to be sure he's going to win. The second one is it has got to have enough of a draw for him to make good money. So yes, if McGregor had enough of the same draw he has in MMA and boxing, yeah, Mayweather McGregor would have fought if this was an official boxing career that McGregor has had. Now that we see McGregor's record as a boxer, as a professional boxer, it completely makes us, or allows us to look at the fight in a completely different way. Now you have more of a puncher's chance there, especially with a guy with such a knockout ratio there. Now, I hope this whole idea opens fans' minds to a different perspective when it comes to the fight itself, and maybe makes the fight a little more interesting for guys that really don't even want to watch it. But all that being said, McGregor is not going to win. And I could go deep into details on why he is not going to win. But to make it simple, for those that are not hardcore boxing fans, there's one simple reason why he won't win, and that's basically Canelo. Now, why is Canelo part of this whole deal? Mainly because Canelo is a strong, young fighter that gave Mayweather absolutely no problems. Canelo has everything McGregor has and more, and Mayweather just basically walked through him. Now, to be fair, if we talk about Canelo, we also have to talk about Maidana. I believe the reason Maidana gave Mayweather so many problems was because Maidana threw from so many angles. He was so active and just so abnormal when it came to a boxing style. He just basically threw punches in every way he could, and I believe McGregor will have to do that and will be doing a lot of that to give Mayweather some trouble. Now, the thing is that Maidana is a seasoned fighter that has been through many wars, many 12 rounds, and also has... Oh my God, no. Now, I don't want to shatter anyone's dreams in here or anything like that, and I know that there's been a lot of people putting money on McGregor, but there's, like I mentioned earlier, there's only 2 reasons why Mayweather has ever taken a fight. And I know a lot of fans out there, unless you're a hardcore boxing fan, you've heard about Mayweather taking some fights, and you've seen some of his fights, but if you haven't been following his entire career, really you may not understand or know this. And especially if you're an MMA fan and you don't know anything about boxing, then I'm telling you right now, there's only 2 reasons why Mayweather takes a fight. The first reason is he knows he's going to win it. That's the first reason. He will never take a fight he doesn't know he will win. The second reason is there's enough money there for him. If both of those apply, he takes the fight. And he took this fight. Now, there's a difference between being very confident and actually knowing you're going to achieve something. So I can be confident in my performance, or I can know I will perform. Now I understand McGregor is very, very confident, but Mayweather knows he will win, and that goes beyond confidence. Doesn't matter what he says, what he makes people believe. Mayweather took this fight because he knows he will win. Now, sorry if I disappointed anyone. I wish I would have been able to tell you that a legitimate reason why I believe McGregor will win. There really isn't. It really doesn't matter how you break down this fight. I try to make it a little fun there by creating or kind of making this making McGregor an actual boxer, and maybe that will allow some guys to have a different perspective on it. But it doesn't matter how you break it down. Mayweather's the type of guy that he might be 50 and could still beat most of the guys on his weight class. Unless there's something funny happening here, it's not going to happen. Puncher's chance, it's also kind of very limited when it comes to a guy like Mayweather. It's very hard to hit the guy. That being said, I will try to get the rest of the team to do a prediction. They may have a completely different idea on the fight. And make sure to follow us on Twitter at trtboxing. Take care.